Comedy Beatdown New Year's special. As the seconds tick down to the new year, there's still time to fit in one more review, and that is of the festive action comedy Money Train. Money Train is a reteaming of Woody Harrelson and everyone's favourite tax evader Wesley Snipes, after their successful teaming on White Men Can't Jump and, Wildcats. Apparently everyone in Hollywood thought that reuniting the duo would be instant box office gold. I mean, look at the alliteration of their names! They'd almost be a brand name! As it turns out, this was an incredibly stupid idea. So we open at Christmas time in New York, where transit cop Charlie, played by Woody Harrelson, acts as a decoy to lure some punks who like to steal from drunks, whilst fellow cop John, played by Wesley Snipes, watches. They discover his badge and a chase ensues, with John quickly arresting one. The other punk jumps onto the tracks, with the two cops in quick pursuit.
They're stopping trains. I want to know why.
We got a police action, sir. 6 lines south of Wall Street. Decoy cops in the tunnel.
Where is the revenue train?
We're holding it at Wall Street.
Send it through.
Sir, we got cops on the tracks down there.
Send it through. Nothing stops the money train.
Do you get that he's evil? Personally, I think it's too subtle. So the titular money train runs through the tunnel, nearly running them down in the process. Personally, I wish it did. It would spare us the stupidity. The money train arrives at the next stop and is guarded by a SWAT-like team armed with machine guns. Call this a hunch, but I don't think this is how money trains operate. There's action movie logic, and then there's just plain stupid. The punk runs onto the platform where the guards immediately blow a dozen holes in him. Holy shit! Itchy trigger finger much, guys! Because instead of simply apprehending the suspect, we'll just fire randomly through the station, endangering hundreds of paying customers and cops. John and Charlie bicker with the guards.
No, come on! You're not gonna hit him. Why not? Because I'm gonna hit him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a catchphrase. John and Charlie are taken to Patterson, the slimy rail chief familiar, played by Robert Blake of the Little Rascals.
That report says you're brothers. You, sir, are a Negro. He is white. Is somebody trying to jack me off?
No, sir. Actually, we're foster brothers.
Yeah, see, I ran away from this orphanage, and then...
I'm sure it's a very touching story.
And I was gonna steal...
Shut up!
This is such a hack-like gimmick, you can even imagine the pitch for it. Okay, you know how in White Men Can't Jump, they were brothers, but in like a street sense? Well, get this. What if they were actually brothers? Wouldn't that just be hilarious? I mean, you know, because he's white and he's black. Oh my god, that's genius. Oh, pass the coke. Oh yeah.
Today, you caused my money train to arrive 46 minutes late.
Not 46 minutes? How will the transit authority cope with having to waste an extra hour for its money? Who cares besides Weasley McEvil here? Patterson then goes on about how the money train is like a personal labour of love to him, just in case you still haven't gotten the hint.
Anything else?
Yes, Chief Patterson, but your men shot the kid to shit.
I mean, over a rope chain.
Yeah, they shot him to shit. That's what they did. And you can't buy publicity like that.
Oh yeah, that's a great headline, isn't it? Cops fire on an unarmed thief. I'm sure the public can't possibly object to that. Both of them agree that if it wasn't for the fact that they're cops, they would rob Patterson's train. Later, Charlie has a bit of a gambling problem, resulting in gangsters dangling him off a building. John comes to his aid.
You brought the money, right?
$300.
Hey, motherfucker owes Mr. Brown 15,000.
15,000?
John, this is no time to be cheap!
You know what? Drop him.
Yeah, because if your brother was hanging off a building, I'm sure you'd say that. Luckily, John agrees to pay the gangsters a little bit, telling them that they will pay back the rest in a few days. At work, John and Charlie are introduced to a new member of their team, played by Jennifer Lopez. This is Jenny from the block while she was still in the block. So it's John's turn to go decoy, and two large women find him very sexy and try to take him home. After Grace breaks up the hilarious hijinks, on the opposite platform, Pyromaniac Torch, played by Chris Cooper, douses the cashier in fuel and ignites it. I get the impression that Academy Award winner Chris Cooper does not mention this on his CV these days. John tries to jump across the tracks, but gets caught between two dramatically convenient trains. When we've had enough tension, John rescues the cashier by shooting out the window. As New York is full of loonies, as we've just established, I think these windows would be bulletproof or at the very least reinforced. John, Charlie and Grace head to the bar after work, with both brothers competing for her affections, getting very drunk for their walk home. Oh look, he's pissing on someone's car. What an endearing trait.
My complaint is that you're always first and I'm always one step behind, and you perpetuate that.
Oh, so now it's my fault, right?
Yeah.
Charlie, you had plenty of opportunity, but you know what happens? You always fuck it up.
Well, now that illustrates my point. You're calling me a fuck-up.
Man, I did not call you a fuck up. I said that you fuck up. There's a difference.
So you call me a fuck-up, so I keep fucking up. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Are you listening to me?
Yeah, what are you listening to me?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Stop bickering! It's really annoying to listen to. Oh, and then a group of muggers try to rob them because we need to force some action into the movie.
Now look at the shit you done gotta say.
Oh, it's my fault. Who was watching the street?
I don't care who caused the shit. Just give it up. I didn't call you a fuck up. I can tell. What do you mean fuck me?
Fuck you.
Yo, fuck you.
Fuck you.
I'm robbing your motherfucking ass. Give up your shit.
Even the muggers retreat because their annoyance is too great. Note to all aspiring writers, petty bickering usually isn't that funny in most cases, and it's immensely irritating when it isn't. John, Charlie and Grace are assigned to guard the money train.
Hey, it's not like we can't take a few mental notes. Check out that grate.
Why is there a grate on the floor? What purpose does that serve on a train? Besides being an obvious entry point for later. And being the mature, professional cops they are, they start another fight.
Hang on now. You ain't gonna hit it. Why not? Because I'm gonna hit him.
We're gonna keep on doing this until you think it's funny. This results in yet another trip to Patterson's office, who is angry that his train is light.
It seems that in the darkness and confusion, somebody made off with 25,000 of my dollars. You got any idea how that could happen?
Wait, are you trying to say that we had something to do with this?
Did I say that? I didn't say that.
No, I just heavily implied it. What is his beef against these two anyway? Do we really need to trot out the angry chief cliche, and so transparently? And then this scene turns out to be pointless when Patterson is informed that they didn't do it. Thanks for wasting my time then. Their encounter with Patterson gets them to thinking about robbing the money train again.
3-4 million at least.
Be rich.
Rich, man. We'd be free. It's about time for our people.
Say it loud.
I'm black and I'm proud, and you're looking.
Woody, you're the bartender from Cheers. You're whiter than bread.
Best possible time to pull this off. It's gonna be New Year's Eve, because New Year's Day, they have the rate hike. So it's just gonna be loaded down with currency, man.
Right. We're not gonna rob the money train.
Why not?
Because we're cops and, you know.
We can do this.
No.
We're gonna do it.
No.
We're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, here we go with the bickering again. And who does he think he is? Dr. Bloody Evil? And just when you think the movie is picking up steam, if you excuse the pun, we then go back to a romantic subplot that puts the brakes on. In fact, we won't even hear about robbing the money train for another 30 minutes. Wasn't that the whole reason we're watching this? It's in the blooming title! Besides, it's obvious that John and Grace are going to end up together because she has more screen time with John than she does with Charlie. Not to mention, they've been building her as a tough gal on par with the guys. Do you really think that she'll take goofy Woody over six-pack action star Snipes? I don't think so.
You know, this could get painful.
Hey, love hurts.
I know, I'm bloody watching it. John gives Charlie $15,000 that he's been saving for a rainy day. Since we all know that his debts will lead him to rob the money train, you know it's going to get lost before the delivery.
Whoa. You alright?
Yes, I'm fine.
Less predictability. Because he's a moron, Charlie goes to the gangsters anyway and tells them his story, getting beaten up for his troubles. What the hell did he expect? Sympathy and Christmas cheer? Meanwhile, Grace visits John for some sex. Jennifer Lopez has since stated that she found filming this scene awkward and uncomfortable, and I believe her. This scene looks awkward, rather than romantic and passionate. You do get to briefly see her Geelies if it really interests you. As a cherry on top, Charlie gets back to find them post-coitus, as if he wasn't upset enough. Finally, the torch reappears because the filmmakers have realised that we need an action scene to wake us up. Grace is the decoy in the booth, with John and Charlie on watch. The torch pushes a man onto the tracks as a diversion, allowing him to approach Grace. Charlie spots the torch, and the brothers chase the torch through the New York streets. There's a very tacked-on scene here, where Charlie's gunshot spooks a horse, so he has to save some kids from getting trampled, which just serves to artificially up the action quota. The chase goes back into the subway, for some reason, where the torch and John have a fight on the tracks.
You see what happens when you play with fire?
You get burned.
See, it's ironic because he got sat on fire and hit by a train like that guy did. I bet the filmmakers were high-fiving themselves over that one. Patterson arrives on the scene.
Well, I must say, you created quite a shitstorm. What the hell is wrong with you? You could have blown away a half a dozen people with your reckless shit.
Okay, he very briefly fired into a crowd during the chase, but that's what your mini SWAT team did earlier, and it kind of pales into insignificance after we just saw a man set on fire and hit by a train!
Don't worry, kid. We'll get you out of this one. All you gotta do is ask.
You know, Patterson doesn't come off as that much of a jerk in this scene.
No. From there.
I take that back.
You want to hear the words, don't you?
I want to hear the words.
Kiss my fucking ass.
You kiss it. Goodbye. Because you're busted, punk, you're fired.
For what? He was the one who spotted the torch and saved the kids. The only reason this is happening is because the plot says so.
Just let me talk to him.
What do you want to defend him for? He ain't worth it. Everybody knows your brother ain't nothing but a fuck-up.
Come on, Hook. Hey. Come on, out to take this shit.
Go ahead, take a bite of me. You'll be licking your asshole for a month to get the taste out of your mouth.
What does that even mean? And that's not the only strange insult he makes.
So don't fuck with my train again. If you do, we will tangle ass. You're a wreck looking for some place to happen. I'll be there. And I'll fuck you dead.
There's a difference between hard-boiled dialogue and making it look like a character's a gay necrophiliac. At least when John gets fired too, he was being verbally abusive, so there was a hint of a reason, but this scene seems to imply that Charlie made much more of a costly mistake than the one we see him make on screen, and it makes no sense. And it certainly makes John's subsequent disowning of Charlie seem nonsensical, because there's nothing to justify it. This is a critical scene, and it makes no sense! Charlie goes to the bar to drown his sorrows when the gangsters attack him in the toilets, threatening to injure John.
January 1st. Oh, your nigga brother's dead.
The bartender tells John about Charlie's situation. John confronts the gangsters, giving us the film's token martial arts showcase for Snipes.
What you call a nigga?
How the hell would he know that? He wasn't there when he said it, and I doubt the bartender told him. Afterwards, John goes to the bar, where he is handed a present Charlie left him. The model train he stole earlier, indicating that he's going to rob the money train. Finally! It's only 75 minutes into a 105-minute movie. Charlie, in full view of everyone, including the train driver, runs onto the tracks and lies down in front of the money train. He doesn't even cover his face until he lies down on the tracks. Welcome to this film's climactic train robbery, which manages to fit more plot holes and idiocy in 20 minutes than most films do in 90. Enjoy. Charlie cuts through the grate in the floor, allowing himself in. Where are the guards? Did they all go to the booth? Why isn't anyone guarding the train? Oh right, because Charlie wouldn't be able to get in otherwise. Charlie hijacks the train and throws out the driver. Meanwhile, John races through another station on his motorbike to stop him. Oddly enough, he doesn't seem to encounter a token barrier whilst driving through. Charlie stops the train and tries to make his escape through Central Park, only to find that there are cops nearby, forcing him to go back to the train.
Hey! You scared the shit out of me, man.
Okay, here's a question to ponder. Where did John leave his motorcycle? And if you answered in the tunnel, wouldn't the other transit cops find it long before he could recover it? With cops coming down the tunnel, they start the train back up again.
To the person or persons on board the money train, this is Donald Patterson. Shut it down.
Whoa, don't do that.
Before you wind up...
Donald, don't worry. The robbery's going great, and I'll still give you your cut, partner. Toodles.
Listen to me, you sons of bitches. I don't know who you are.
How do you not know? It's clearly Charlie. You spoke with him yesterday.
Patterson may be an asshole, but he's not stupid. Sooner or later, he's gonna figure to trip the brakes. And this little joyride of ours is gonna be over. Unless we bleed the brakes.
If we bleed the brakes, they can't stop us.
If we bleed the brakes, then we can't stop either.
Bleed the brakes.
Yeah, we'll hurt more innocent people that way and have no chance of an exit strategy. Patterson tries to trip the brakes, but the train smashes right through. You mean to say that it broke the tiny metal rod? Inconceivable! By the way, has no one on this film heard of the red and green light system, where if a train passes through a red light, it immediately cuts the power? The characters never even mention it, and we're meant to forget about it, even though it was a crucial plot point in the fellow train movie, The Taking of Pelham 123. Patterson's next attempt to stop them is a barricade reinforced with steel that magically erects itself after Patterson mentions it. Gee, I wonder if the train smashes right through it. I thought so. And why is the tunnel lined with cops firing at the train with guns? Firing guns at a train does nothing to stop it, dumbasses.
Command, you're not gonna believe this. The money train broke right through the barricade.
Why is Grace cheering them on? She's still a cop. I'm pretty sure she wants to stop it from being robbed. Patterson is against the idea of giving the money train a clear track and simply tells the train in front of them to speed up. Look, it's Bill Nunn from Spider-Man as the driver.
These two trains are on the same track. When the money train hits her, there'll be a derailment.
There'll be no derailment. When they see that train ahead of them, they will shut it down. And I'll be there.
What if the money train can't stop? People could die.
That's what we live with.
What? This is not inevitable. You could have cleared the tracks rather than playing with the lives of innocent train passengers. This also depends on Patterson being dumb enough to think that the train has any brakes, despite numerous evidence to the contrary. It broke through a steel barricade, man. I don't think it can stop. John tries to stop Charlie from stealing the money, resulting in a fight between the two siblings, with the train doors wide open. It's only by a sheer miracle that John doesn't end up getting killed. By the way, am I the only one who finds it a little ironic that Mr. Tax Evasion here is the one telling him not to rob the money? The money train finally catches up to the train in front and repeatedly crashes into it, despite the train in front being at top speed. That would imply that the money train slows down and speeds back up, or that its two carriages are on wire, which is blatantly seen in several shots. They decide that they will jump from the money train before it goes into reverse and derails it. To do this, Charlie sticks a pole out of the front window that will flip the switch upon the next collision. Words can't describe how dumb this plan is, especially since the length of time between impacts seems to be completely random. But you can bet your ass that the train will wait at least 2 minutes for them to climb up on the roof. The train conveniently gives them enough time to climb to the front of the roof before it impacts with the train in front again, throwing the reverse switch as they jump across. The train then smashes through the tunnel, causing so much damage I'm surprised the ground above doesn't cave in. Our heroes, everybody! Patterson, furious at the destruction of the train, spots the pair and unleashes his rage.
This is what I think of you, you fuck up.
Hey, my face? Whoa. Hey, you're gonna hit it.
Why not?
Because I'm gonna hit it.
No, you're not gonna hit it. We both hit it.
Two men punching one man in the face does not send that man back 10 foot in the air.
Arrest those two bastards! Arrest them for assault!
No, Patterson! You're under arrest. You endangered the lives of innocent people, and you are gonna pay.
What the f***? Yes, he endangered lives, but so did our heroes. Not to mention assault, property damage, and robbery! In fact, the whole reason that Patterson is made to be so unsympathetic is because they want you to forget the fact that the two main characters' little joyride and robbery all comes at the expense of the New York taxpayer. They're not actually good guys at all, and in any other movie, Patterson would be the hero. But no, our heroes are allowed to celebrate their victory as the new year rings in.
What is it?
You're gonna overreact on this, John.
Oh Oh, that wacky Woody, stealing $500,000 at the taxpayer's expense. The bastard. And so the pair bicker their way into the distance as the credits roll. This movie is not worth a dime. As an action movie, its second act is almost entirely barren of action, as it gets bogged down with subplots that are as predictable as they are boring. Woody and Wesley's banter mostly consists of bickering, which quite frankly becomes irritating. The film takes a very long period of time to even get to the robbery we came to see, which is badly plotted and written, with glaring holes and errors. Not to mention that the lead characters are more morally suspect in their actions than the antagonist. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this year's episode, and I'll be back soon with some more beatdowns. Until then, have a happy and prosperous new year, watching plenty of great movies. Cheers!
This girl got me waiting. And time has come for a decision to be made.